A werewolf, a spellcaster, a vampire, and Bob Pancakes all walk into a ranch. This isn't the start to a bad joke, it's just that we're gonna check out the cross-pack compatibility between the brand new expansion Horse Ranch and everything else that we have in the game. A ton of you had questions about how do other animals interact with the horses, what nectar can we make for the spellcasters, so we're gonna be checking all of that out in this video. I'm actually really excited to be recording this. This is the first time that I've got back on Horse Ranch since actually installing it, because I had a weird bug where my EA app just wouldn't do it. It installed it to the EnglishSimmer demo because that's exactly what I wanted in the year of 2023. I'm gonna have Bob open up these seed packets over here. I bought some starter magical plants. Obviously these are from Realm of Magic, but I don't really know what the magic thing is that we're gonna be able to create. They did say that occults sort of had their own nectar, so we shall see. We've got some wolfsbane, we've got mandrake from Realm of Magic, valerian root from Realm of Magic, and then obviously the plasma fruit from vampires. The reason I have Bob in here actually alongside all of these supernaturals is I wanted to see if humans could actually create the nectar of the supernaturals. From what I'm seeing, they can't. He does have all of the stuff in his inventory, so I'm gonna give that plasma fruit to Vlad, and I'm gonna see if there is actually anything different that pops up. Do we need to find out a recipe? Oh my word, there we go. Okay, so it's confirmed. Obviously it was already confirmed, the gurus said that each occult will have their own actual magical nectar that they can make, but the werewolf one actually isn't wolfsbane. I was kind of prepared for it to be wolfsbane, not gonna lie. It is actually moon petal nectar. It actually unlocks at level 4 of the skill, which is why we actually couldn't see it. But you need 3 moon petals to craft it. Let's check out which nectar is available for these spellcasters. Valerian nectar. Okay, pop off Game of Thrones. We need 3 valerian roots for this one. We actually do have the valerian root, so I'm gonna have Morgan craft that, I think. But let's check out Vlad. I think we can all assume that this is gonna be plasma, so let's just scroll down and see. Yes, there you go. You need 3 plasma fruit, and then you can create plasma nectar. I do want to make all of these because I want to see what effects they actually all have. I'm assuming the plasma nectar will get up first for vampires. I don't really know what the valerian one will do unless it maybe bumps up the amount of magic that a spellcaster had. Also, not gonna lie, if you actually just input show hidden objects and go into debug, you can just buy each one of these occult nectars. But I don't want to do that. I want to make it. I will cheat the ingredients, but I do want to make it. Lou, get the dogs out. It's just an excuse to get feet pics from Lou, okay? You found me out. Ooh, you finished making it. I don't want to do a taste test yet. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. Look at the little label on it. Valerian nectar. Quality is normal, lightly aged. We are just going to put that in there for now. Thankfully, Sims won't automatically take nectar bottles out of here, which is really, really handy. Lou, how about you come and craft your... I put moon petal in his inventory and they disappeared. The debug moon petals do not work, so I may actually just buy that one from Build and Buy. Vladdy Daddy, put those grippers away or get them out. Oh, he's burning. This is gonna be some fiery nectar. Damn, with the vans. I need to remove these vans. I need the dogs. I need the grippers to be gripping onto those grapes. Thank you, Vlad. We got our plasma nectar. Oh, stop it. I absolutely love the label for the moon petal one. Let's actually quickly see what these do. So can you grab the plasma? You are actually going to drink straight from the bottle. Not a very Vlad thing to do, I feel. It brings up his vampire energy and then also his thirst need. It is unfortunate that the humans can't actually do this, because I really like to play storylines, especially with my vampires, of humans trying to help the vampires if they do enjoy like drinking purely from plasma fruit and like don't want to drink from humans. So that's really, really unfortunate, especially if you're like in a household with a vampire. I don't know if it's tied into vampiric lore. Like maybe if Bob knew that, then he'd be able to unlock it, but I doubt it. I've actually set Morgan's spellcaster charge because I'm assuming the Valerian one has something to do with that. Just two occults hanging by the fire, drinking nectar. You know how it goes. And I need the needs up. Yes, so it is reducing the spellcaster charge. Very, very handy if you are about to become overcharged, because we all know that can absolutely fry spellcasters. And then I'm assuming it works the same way for werewolves when they are about to like rage, when their fury starts to go up, if they then drink the moon petal. I'm really hoping this isn't a cure. I don't think it will be, considering we already have a werewolf cure. Let's pop that in Lou's inventory and get them to drink that. All right. Yeah, I see you. I know. You're a grisly little thing, aren't you? It's actually raising Lou's hunger. I think that's about one of the only things that it is doing. Don't think it brought down, like, their fury at all. Yeah, all it's doing is getting up Lou's hunger. Like, it's not actually having any effect on the fury, which I find a little bit bizarre, honestly. It looks like they still just get the same moodlets as you do from drinking normal nectar. Obviously, when you have your second serving, you then get that extra nectar feeling, and then if you continue drinking it, you can actually pass out. Kind of disappointed with werewolves. I'm actually just gonna bring up his vampire lore. He's already a level 2, and if I try to craft nectar, there is actually no plasma fruit one, so I'm gonna level this up one by one and see if it unlocks at any point. Level 15, which is mastering the skill, and he still doesn't have the option to create it. So that is definitely a missed opportunity for me. I actually think it would have been really cool if humans had to get up to a certain level in like the vampiric lore skill, and then they could unlock the recipe for this nectar. I did think, hey, the vampiric and the rest of the occult nectars actually only unlocked at level 4 of the nectar making, so maybe it's because Bob doesn't have that, so I made him a level 5, but unfortunately still no option for him to make the plasma fruit one, even though he has plasma fruit in his inventory. However, he can create fruit nectar from like any fruit. He currently has apples in his inventory, so I'm gonna get rid of the apples. So therefore, the only fruit that Bob now has is the plasma fruit. You can't actually choose what fruit you want to make it from, which is really annoying. You kind of have to like check your Sim's inventory to be like the only fruit that is available if you want a specific one. I kind of wish that you could choose, like a menu would just pop up of like, hey, you chose fruit nectar, pick from the list that you have in your inventory. But I'm gonna have him craft nectar. Okay, that might be the workaround. So fruit nectar is available at level 5. We did use the plasma fruit because he had 6 before that. I feel like this is just gonna be like regular fruit nectar is what it's gonna stay, instead of like actually being plasma fruit. But then I will have Vlad try it. So it is just listed as fruit nectar, but made with plasma fruit. Right, let's give that to Vladdy Daddy. I put his needs back down. He's gonna have this in his inventory. I'm gonna have him drink it, and then let's test if that actually gets up anything, because obviously the actual plasma one got up his vampiric energy and his thirst, but the fruit nectar is doing absolutely nothing. So not the workaround I was looking for. That is a bummer. Humans cannot make occult sim nectars. There's something else I want to test out with nectar as well, which is actually seeing if we can list it to plopsy. I'm kind of thinking that that's not gonna be a thing. Not that it can go off, because obviously you can like age it, and as long as it's unopened, then it's fine. But consumables usually aren't able to be listed on plopsy, which can I even remember where plopsy is? Let's browse plopsy. I doubt that we can list it. Usually when you click on something on your inventory that can be listed, it has like the option to list on plopsy. I'll try placing it in our world and see if we can just like do it from there, but I I highly doubt this is going to be a thing. Kind of works the same way as juice fizzing. You can sell it, but you can't like list it to plopsy. So I'm going to put that back in our inventory. Good to know. I'm going to assume this is going to work. So we are going to view inventory of the table, and then we're going to drag our nectar up to there. We have 2 bottles of apple nectar, and then Lou, can you stock that table for me, buddy? I did assume that we would be able to sell our nectar this way. This is one of the selling tables from City Living. They also have these in Eco Lifestyle, so you can go to like, I think one of the fairs, I can't remember which one it is, maybe like the crafters or the makers. Basically the market where you can sell your own like consumables and things, where you can sell candles, for example. You can take this with you, or you can set up on a stall over there and actually sell them, which is quite nice. Put those good looks to use once again. We're gonna mark up prices to 300%. I don't actually know how much these were. Now they're apparently selling for 142 and 214. And then let's start the yard sale. Oh yes, come on. No, we've already sold one of them. Go on, Nancy. I know you want to buy it. Lou bringing in all the ladies. Thank you, Clara. I will absolutely take that. Lou, you can finish this yard sale because they actually sold. We also have a dog. Of course, Lou has sniffed out the dog instantly. It's the werewolf instinct in him. We have Texas and we have Truck. Those are the randomized names they gave me, so those were the names that I ran with. I gave the horses opposite traits, and then I tried to make like the cat and the dog as friendly as possible so that we could maybe see some interactions. I will say a lot of like the horse interactions and stuff, like horses will just do that stuff naturally. They'll kind of seek out a sim, or they'll seek out hopefully another animal to interact with. So I do apologize if I miss any of that. Texas is more of the negative horse, I guess you could say. Aggressive, fearful, and needy. And then Truck is friendly, intelligent, and brave. Are you interacting with the dog? Was that an interaction I saw? Okay, he's sniffing. Obviously, we can't play as any of the animals, so this is gonna be, like, obviously harder to do. I wonder if we can encourage to, like, socialize with. Requires being good friends with Truck. Well, guess what? Truck, we are about to be besties. Karma is my bestie? No. Truck is my bestie. Thank you very much. Friendly, encouraged to socialize with horses, mini goats, mini sheep. Why are cats and dogs not listed? I would have assumed that if they can socialize with like mini goats and mini sheep, why not the flipping cats and dogs, like the actual animals, not just the ones that we can purchase in this pack? These horses are literally doing like nothing. Oh, this one's actually like pretty good friends with the dog, apparently. They're just kind of like slightly interacting. No, Vlad, come on, seriously. Death by sun, why didn't I put it in the basement? Oh, we don't even know the vitality nectar, so we can't even bring him back. Oh, seduce. How could you resist Lou? Oh, you know that so many of you want the Grim Reaper's job right now. Look at that little... Woohoo! Grim is loving it. Grim's like, oh, stop it, you. Fine, you can have your vampire back. I'll allow it. Death, do you want to do your job here? Sir? Mr. Reaper? Why does he look like Flashback Mary? Oh, the cat's thinking about the horse. Doesn't look very impressed at the horse. I have to... This cat said, I do not like you, like, at all. I mean, this is our aggressive horse, so it makes sense. Criminal offensive side eye. A bunch of you are asking whether dogs could actually like herd sheep. I really doubt that is a thing that they even thought about whilst they were creating this pack. I think it would be kind of like difficult for it to do, and I mean this pack doesn't have the most gameplay in the world. I just feel like so much of the focus was on like animating horses and making them flow and things like that. Obviously we got an awful lot of rabbit holes within this expansion pack. There's no training the dog to herd sheep. Are you drinking horse pee? Probably. Is the cat gonna interact with the sheep? Is that what's happening right now? The cat's going very slow, just clipping into it. Oh, apparently sniffing the sheep by being inside it. Oh yes, this is working very well, isn't it? The cat actually seems to be more interested in the like farm animals than the dog did. Like, look. The horse is going up to it and sniffing it. This is all they really do. Like, they will like talk, like that kind of like mewed a little bit, and then the horse like sniffed it. But that's really all like horses do with each other as well. Foals can actually like latch on to their mother for milk, but then they just kind of like nuzzle each other or neigh at each other. And that's kind of the same thing that like cats do with the smaller animals and also with horses themselves. One of you actually asked me if we could like take the dog with us as we went out for a ride. Again, this is another thing where they're asleep on the bed. Oh no, stop. That's kind of cute. Go on, Morgan. Such a natural on that horse. Ooh, this might actually, I was going to say this might get the interaction up more, but it didn't. The dog ran away. Pet care, go on walk, call over. Go for jog, go for long walk, medium walk. They're all the same. Do we attach it to a leash and then go up on a horse? I did say this was an experiment. No, this is really harsh. Imagine if this actually like works. I will exit out of it if it works. Get off the horse for a second, Morgan, because you can't put a lead on the dog whilst you're up there. Right, there we go. We leashed the dog. Let's go try mount the horse. This isn't gonna work. Like, literally, Morgan isn't even moving. So you can't mount the horse with a leash dog, which... good to know. Glad I tested that one out. But it does mean that you can't like bring your dogs with you whilst you go for a ride, because you can't like form a group with them either. Let's call the Ranch Animal Exchange, because obviously goats and sheep also have a role to play in the cross pack. You can milk the goats, so I'm kind of hoping with cottage living you can actually keep that milk and not actually have to sell it for simoleons. And then the sheep you can share, and I'm hoping that gives you the discount the same way that llamas do when it comes to knitting and cross stitch. Honestly, still iconic of me to call my green sheep and dyed it key lime green. These guys are making so much noise. But as you can see, when I was just playing base game, the only option I actually had when I clicked on the sheep was share for simoleons. Now we can actually share for wool. So I am gonna do that real quickly. The socks and sliders, he's such a dad. Absolutely love him. We discovered the information about pink wool. Obviously, the color of the sheep very much relates to the wool. Pretty much works the exact same way as the llamas when you dye the llamas, except you can just buy a specific sheep color, so it's actually a little bit easier. They just give you one clump of it, and there we go. So there is cross compatibility with cottage living when it comes to the cross stitch. This is going to be exactly the same for knitting, but he actually gets a discount because he has 1 out of 1 of pink wool. We do actually have a beige wool sheep as well, so maybe I should find the beige. I mean, it's cream. Is this gonna give me beige? Or are you the beige one? This says brown. Ah, which is gonna... Why did that actually sound like a sheep? Hey, the cream sheep actually gave us the beige wool. So Bob, I'm gonna need you to come stitch from the patterns. We will do a medium hoop. It doesn't give you a full discount like food sometimes usually does. But hey, that's like a 50 simoleons off. Oh my word, no. This could have been something cute as well. Like the mini animals having their own attire. Because obviously we can create things for chickens and llamas and cows. But I don't think we can make anything specific for like horses, even though they do have accessories. Damn, that was some crossplay that I didn't even think of. I just quickly want to make sure that the wool works the exact same way for knitting as it does for the cross stitch, which made me find out that if you shear your sheep for wool whilst they're dirty, I'm assuming the quality is poor. We're gonna go for a green beanie because we got 1 out of 1 green wool, and you do get the 20 simoleons discount. So this one is actually free, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna quickly apply the simple living lot trait that came with cottage living. Requires ingredients to cook all recipes. Obviously want to see what goats actually do for this. So it actually just comes up with milk, and then you have the milk for simoleons if you're just playing with base game and you don't have cottage living. The cheese just says that it needs 2 bottles of milk. One goat, by the looks of it, will give you 2 bottles. Again, that is poor quality. But then if we go over here and we go to cooking, we can in fact make a cheese for 0 simoleons. Thank you, goats. Truly is the greatest of all time. Sorry, but cottage living is carrying when it comes to cross-pack compatibility. Cross-pack, baby, cross-pack. Let's be real, this is actually my love shack. Like, when packs are integrated together, ooh, delicious. I love it. Oh, cute. If you actually have some prairie grass on your lot and obviously you harvest it, you can choose to refill your feeder with prairie grass for free, obviously with horse ranch. But if you have the cottage living animals, you can click on them and then you can actually save that like 4 simoleons and you can feed with prairie grass. You just need 2 pieces of it in your inventory, which my animals have eaten all of mine, which, you know what, fair and valid, because I have basically been starving them. But you can just buy it even if you don't have the lot trait and it will just like automatically spawn. So I'm gonna get a few pieces of this. Quick Bob, get over here before anybody else does. Harvest that prairie grass, buddy. Ah, they're all on their way. No, I want it before you. I want to feed the cow and not all of you. All right, no, let them have this one. Let them have it, Bob. Thank you. We have enough in our inventory to feed the cow. Feed with a prairie grass. I just want to see if this is like a hand feed kind of thing. Little pats. And it just looks like, I'm assuming, the other food that you can feed. Let me feed the back brown cow. Let me actually see if they just use the same animation. Because for the horses, they have prairie grass. Yeah, they didn't reanimate it. I wonder if you can do a group ride. That was something I did not test out. Let's form a group between Morgan and Lou. I'll have Morgan mount one horse and then I'll have Lou mount the other. We can't add the horses to our group. I don't think we can go for a ride together. So I'm just gonna say go for a relaxed ride with Morgan and then you go for a relaxed ride. They're going off in 2 separate directions, I'm gonna assume. Nah, they like forked off. I'm forked off that you can't go for a ride together. One thing I will say, because I had growing together installed on my early access, I actually did get a little bug where when a horse died, the other horses were sad. And so it came up with like self-discovery trait. Do you want gloomy? Which obviously gloomy isn't a horse trait. And it was kind of reacting as if the horse was a sim. So that's not actually a feature. It's absolutely a bug. I cannot emphasize that enough. There isn't a chance for your horses to like switch natures, which honestly I kind of wish there was, because as we all know, if you get rescues in this game, a lot of them will have what are seen as quite negative traits. So they'll be very fearful, aggressive, which like makes sense when they are rescue animals. So I would kind of love it that when you grew closer to a horse and they actually started to trust you more and like their lives became happier, they could change, but that is not an option. I also know a lot of people wanted the feature, you know, where you hover over a horse and it tells you one, how they're feeling, and then also it tells you their stats. People would really like to see that on cats and dogs. I think Lil Miss Sam is actually thinking of creating a mod that does that. So like say when we hover over Bruno, it would say the mood that he was in. Like obviously it's listed down here for cats and dogs, but I do think it would be quite nice. And then also their needs, because at the moment, like obviously cats and dogs are programmed to have needs, like they need to be fed, they need to go for walks and stuff, but it's kind of just like a guessing game of like asking them what's wrong. Big shout out to only Abby Doang who pointed this one out, but you can't actually have horses in apartments. You can own them, they just aren't allowed in the building because you can't place any objects like down here for them and you can't like take care of them. I kind of like the fact that they disallowed this because I just think it would get one, far too messy too quickly, and also it just feels very very unfair on the horses. So it says, hold your horses. Management doesn't allow horses in the building. Horses thrive with space. So there we have it. I think that's everything that I personally could think of, and that I also know a couple of you were asking in my comments. There are definitely massive limitations when it comes to animal interactions and like how all of that works, which makes sense when you can't actually control the animals. Like, I think it would be a different story if you could control cats and dogs and you could control horses. All you can really do is encourage them to interact with, and even then, the encouraging to interact with the horses only lets you choose between other horses and also like Sims who are around your lot. So that falls a little bit flat for me. I kind of knew that we weren't gonna get like sheep herding or anything of the nature. You can make a pen and then like lock the gates for sheep, but your dogs obviously don't play a role in that whatsoever. I like the fact that occults can have their own nectars. I don't know if maybe the werewolf one just like glitched out, or if like literally that's all it's meant to do, because that feels a little bit weird to me. I do still wish that there was some sort of freelance career for nectar making, especially now that you can't sell it on Plopsy. And I know you're probably sat there thinking to yourself, Molly, you literally haven't talked about the horse in the room, the one big thing that everyone I feel was kind of expecting, and that's because it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, there is no cross-pack compatibility between the vet career in cats and dogs and the horse ranch. Horses cannot get sick. The only way that they can actually pass away is through old age once they are an elder horse. I actually had Bob go to the vets with the horse, and the horse like stayed outside. I didn't try to have like the horse go in at all, but they didn't even add the treat to like age up foals into the actual like vending machines at the vets, which is definitely an oversight in my opinion. You can actually pick those up in the corner shop in the main square of Chestnut Ridge. I've seen the discussions online. I've seen some people say, well, wouldn't that kind of be like DLC for DLC, or wouldn't that take away like the speciality of the vet career being in cats and dogs? I personally don't think it had to do either of those things. An expansion is meant to expand on your game, and I definitely think there was a way of the team going about this, and that is basically leaving the cats and dogs career like how it was. However, if you own cats and dogs and then you also own horse ranch, they could have added on home visits. So if horses could get sick, maybe whilst you are on job, like actually in your vet career, you get a call from a sim being like, hey, my horse is sick, like I need you to pay a home visit. You travel to the ranch or wherever they may be in like any world with a horse, run some tests, maybe with like a little horse box object or something like that, kind of like Animal Hospital. Give me my Animal Hospital dreams. And then basically you could treat it then and there by giving them medicine. And then if you didn't have cats and dogs, it would still be the exact same gameplay. So no one's missing out. It's not like DLC for DLC. You didn't need to have cats and dogs to get like these house calls. You just wouldn't get it on the job whilst you were actually in the vet career, because the vet career wouldn't exist in your game. So you could maybe like register as like a freelancer or a new career, considering we actually don't have any careers, just to like fill out the gameplay a bit more, honestly. But once again, you could have got that call and then you could go look at the horse and treat it, and the gameplay would still be exactly the same. So you wouldn't really be missing out on anything. It wouldn't be a DLC for a DLC. That argument couldn't really be used because it would basically be the same gameplay, except it just feels a little bit more realistic if you were already in the vet career, if you had cats and dogs. If I did happen to miss anything off that you maybe wanted to know more about, leave them in the comments below, and I'm always happy to like pop into a little save and test things real quickly, especially when it comes to cross pack, because we have so many packs for this game now. So you're definitely not going to be able to like discover everything all at once, which by the way, spellcasters can't actually bind horses as their familiars like they can do with cats and dogs, which also slightly unfortunate, especially considering we have the aesthetical unicorns. And I would have really loved having a unicorn as a familiar, even though they don't actually have like any abilities within The Sims 4. Thank you all so much for tuning in though. I hope this video was helpful, and I will speak to you all in my next one, which will be up tomorrow. And it's going to be like my full review, like all my thoughts and opinions about Sims 4 Horse Ranch.